Good morning, people of the internet. So we are New Orleans bound, except we were heading towards Miami this whole time for the past hour. So now we're turning around so we can get back on I-10, but we are going. Woo! So yeah, that happened. But after 10 hours, a few states, and several hundred miles, we finally made it to New Orleans.
Welcome to Louisiana.
You're probably wondering how I got these beads, but I think we all know how. They are super hot though, so they gotta go. I am not much of a partier, but I had the absolute best time. It probably had something to do with the fact that I was with my family and that I was celebrating my best friend's 30th birthday. But either way, I can't wait to go back. If you're planning to go or just thinking about it, I have some tips for you. First, let's talk about what to wear. Quite frankly, wear whatever the fuck you want, but pay attention to the weather because I didn't, and I was freezing my ass off and ended up having to spend $150 on winter clothes because I didn't fucking bring any. Also, if you plan on earning your own beads the traditional way, be sure to wear clothes that make the girls easily accessible. Otherwise, you're standing there for like 3 minutes trying to get to them, and it gets kind of awkward after a while. Also, speaking of wardrobe, think about your shoes. For instance, I was wearing open-toed shoes and my feet looked like this. Trust me, you're gonna wanna wear closed-toed shoes, not only so your little toesies don't get trampled on, but so your feet don't look like mine did. You never know what you're stepping in. I have seen people puking on the side of the road. I've heard about people pissing. Who even knows? And I saw a guy smash a bottle in the middle of the street. So you don't want to get your little feetsies cut up either. Funny story though, there was a police officer that saw him do it. So he grabbed him up and made him pick up the entire bottle. It was beautiful. And that's exactly what that guy got. Why would you smash a bottle in the middle of the fucking road where a gajillion other people are walking? What a douchebag. Next order of business, beads. There are hundreds of thousands of beads everywhere. There are parades every single day, so if you don't want to show your tits, you don't have to. And you still will get some awesome beads. And getting the beads is fun, but throwing them down is way more fun. It does feel a little demeaning at first when you're down below trying to bargain with somebody for some beads, but when you're on the other side of that, it is so much fun. But people at Mardi Gras don't discriminate either. I know that me and some guys on the other side were chanting for guys to show their wink wink. Show your dick! Show your dick! Your dick! Your dick! Show your dick! It didn't work, but we tried, and it was a group effort. So, if you do want to show a little skin to earn some beads, make sure you do it for the good ones, not the puny little womp-womps. You can get those ones anywhere. They have ones that light up, and they have like huge bulbousy ones. If you're gonna show the girls, make sure it's worth it. And another thing about Bourbon Street and New Orleans in general, you're allowed to walk on the streets with open containers. So, if you're cheap like I am, there's a liquor store at the beginning of Canal and Bourbon. Stop in there and get your ass something to drink while you're walking along Bourbon Street. Drinks are expensive as fuck in the club. Save your money for all of the delicious food. And speaking of the food, I have seriously considered moving to New Orleans just for the deliciousness alone. Don't forget to try po' boys. They have all sorts of different kinds. And don't forget to try the crawfish etouffee. I had an etouffee omelet when we went to Mother's, and it was the most amazing thing I have ever tasted in my entire life. And speaking of Mother's, you have to go there. We waited about 30 minutes for like 9 people, but the food was amazing. And since there were 9 of us, I got to try a little bit of everything because my family likes to share. And the way they season their crawfish boil is unlike anything I have ever had in my entire life. And I love crawfish. Like, it's one of my favorite foods. So I have tried it all sorts of different ways, and I've never tasted anything as good as what I tried in New Orleans. Also, be sure to visit Café du Monde. You're gonna wanna visit the French Quarter anyway, so take an hour and go to one of the most famous places for beignets in New Orleans. The line might look kind of long, but it's worth it. Trust me. And speaking of being in the French Quarter, don't get too busy partying on Bourbon Street that you forget to explore the French Quarter. It is beautiful, and they have a lot of really neat things. My friend and I went to the Voodoo Museum, and it was awesome. It's super tiny, but I learned a lot about a lot of stuff that I didn't know about. I learned a lot about Marie Laveau. I left an offering for Papa Legba, and just learned a lot about voodoo in general. It was only $7. And there's a lot of art and a lot of quirky stuff on the French Quarter to look at, so be sure not to miss that. I do wish I would have spent a lot less time in the casino, and by a lot less time, I mean a lot less money. But whatever, you know. Also, if you're not much of a drinker like me, be sure to ready yourself for the hangover that you will have. Because if you only have a short amount of time, you're not going to want to waste it on being hungover. All in all, if you're going to New Orleans, be safe and have fun. Don't grab any dicks without consent or boobies. Eat good food, drink good drinks, and have good conversations. And don't forget, and this is imperative, make sure you have something for your hangover before you start drinking. Trust me on this. Thank you guys so much for watching. I typically don't record very much while I am away, but I tried to this time and I still didn't get very much. So sorry I don't have a whole lot of footage, but I hope that these tips help. Join me in a couple of days when I will be talking about packing. Thanks guys. Bye. If you enjoyed this video and have the desire to see more, be sure to hit subscribe. And don't forget to follow me on my other social medias. I hope to see y'all next Wednesday. Toodaloo, motherfucker.